it is very likely that Bitcoin is going to hit $20,000 and even below this month, February 2023. However, short term, we're likely to see the price go up before it goes down. And today I'm going to cover the technical reasons why, what you want to prepare yourselves for over the coming weeks and possibly a couple of months. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into Bitcoin. Right now, we're looking at a daily chart with Bitcoin. And what we can see is that market's moving fives and threes, right? Hopefully that's embedded in your mind right now, buying and selling psychology. So we've got this downward movement, another downward movement, and then a third downward movement to form the first sequence to the downside, which has been the biggest move to the downside in quite a while. And that's typical of the beginning of a correction. Now, over the next 5 days, what typically occurs after a 5-wave move, even on the downside, is some type of correction to the upside. And it's normally at least 3 waves. So most typical and most common, and what we're likely to see, we had CPI yesterday, so we did have that reaction to the market that we was expecting, but we're probably going to see some type of A, B, C correction in this price and time zone. So let me just quote these prices and times. So the time is the date. So we're talking about between the 19th to the 21st of Feb. So probably towards the end of this week, early next week, we're probably going to see Bitcoin go between 22,800 and 23,700 thereabouts. And it's likely. So don't get overly excited unless we take or exceed this price point over here, which is the high or the recent high. And that price point is just above 24,000. And that's unlikely. What's more likely is if we look at the momentum position, when it reaches this point over here, the dashboard will read overbought or strong bear like the weekly, and the weekly is down at the moment. We're probably going to get a continuation to the downside, and that's more than likely. So there are some long opportunities over the coming days that will probably be for a very short-term trade, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. But then the real money is going to be on the short side in terms of probability and riding the market on the way down. Now, what I've created is a free membership to help you on your journey, which is a Bitcoin report. It's a dynamic report that I actually update on a week-by-week basis when there's new valuable insights in Bitcoin. You can join the membership area for free. I've also got a few extra goodies. I've just done the last report a couple of days ago. And again, it's the detail on why we are likely to see sideways to down over the next 2, 3, maybe even longer, 4 weeks, maybe even 6 weeks with Bitcoin. So let's just talk about a few other things with Bitcoin. One of the key things is momentum. And I just want to emphasize this. More often than not, price coincides with the rate of change. And there's thousands of momentum indicators. The most popular is something like a moving average or a MACD. My favorite is this blue and red thing at the bottom. I've got 2 open here, but it's when the price is overbought and oversold, and the price tends to coincide more often than not. So over here, we had this bullish reversal over here, and on this one over here, and we can see we had a low over here. And that can prove very, very valuable to us. So what I'm on high alert for over the next 3 to 5 days is when the momentum reaches this zone. If the price does reach this zone by this date, and it is looking like some type of 3-wave structure, then I'm looking for shorting the market. How low will it go? Well, it's likely to go below 20,200, more than likely. And we're probably going to see it go into 19,000, 18,000 this month going into March as well. So there you have it with Bitcoin. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get a continuation of the downward trend? Or do you think it's going to break the high and continue to the upside? And again, know that Bitcoin is like an indicator itself. If we do get a continuation to the downside and we break this low here, and it breaks this low here, it will probably fall quite steep, kind of like this bar over here. And that will impact the rest of the crypto market as well, because Bitcoin is like the king of crypto, and it holds gravitational weight. And what it does, other things are pulled towards it, normally lagging by 1, 2, 3 weeks, depending on the buying and selling ecosystem in itself. But it will tend to bring everything up and down. And that's just the nature of the game. Let's finish today on a quote, and do share this video, by the way, because it's really valuable insights in Bitcoin, and it's going to mean you should know when to be taking profits. What's your long-term picture? Are you trading the markets? Are you just long-term buy and hold? And your decision making will be impacted with what Bitcoin is likely to do. So let's finish on a quote. We're going to go with chapter 4, and it's Benjamin Franklin. I always start a quote from a book with a quote. So he says, "He or she who is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else." Now, I've done a lot of work in the field of neuroscience, NLP, the unconscious. And what was shown beyond reasonable doubt, was that we operate as unconscious being, and whatever's on the unconscious mind occurs and forms your life. If that's true, then we want to be impeccable with our word in terms of what words come out your mouth, but also the things that you're listening to as well, including your own voice. And if you're constantly making excuses of whatever market conditions or whatever's happening, that's going to impact your life. And it's good to see what can you take control over, input in your mind what you want to occur and see in the world, and then get onto that vibe as well. So he or she who is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else.